So as the clock ticking on Alligator Alcatraz, the migrant detention center could be empty in a matter of days after a judge's ruling to wind down operations at the facility. Dana Marie McNichol is live in Miami. She has details on this. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dana. That's right. Alligator Alcatraz is rapidly emptying out. The number of detainees has dropped by half in just 1 week. So the office of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis confirms that right now there are 180 migrants still inside the facility compared to just 400 last week. The state expects the population will continue to dwindle after last week's federal court ruling that barred any new detainees from arriving at Alligator Alcatraz. Federal Judge Kathleen Williams, an Obama appointee, sided with environmental activists who argue that the detention center was built in violation of federal environmental laws. Florida's Attorney General quickly filed an appeal, but late last night, Judge Williams denied a request by the Trump administration and Florida to keep the detention center open while they appeal. Governor Ron DeSantis says deportation of the detainees fall under DHS authority, not the state's.
DHS determines who goes into those facilities and who goes out of those facilities, although we'd be willing to do it, but we are not the ones actually removing them from those facilities and sending them back to their home country.
DHS releasing a statement to us this morning, reading in part, DHS is complying with the order and moving detainees to other facilities. We will continue to fight tooth and nail to remove the worst of the worst from American streets. This activist judge does not care about the invasion of our country. And despite legal setbacks, the state is planning on opening a second detention center at an old correctional facility. Dana, they are planning to call it Deportation Depot.
Okay, thank you so much, Dana Marie McNichol, with that news. And over to you, Bill.
And Dana, nobody better to talk about all this with than White House reporters are Tom Homan, who's kind enough to join us live from the White House this morning. Tom, good to see you.
Hey, Bill, thanks for having me.
So fill us in. What's the latest with Alligator Alcatraz, and how many more of these facilities with these sort of tongue-in-cheek names are being planned?
Well, first of all, Alligator Alcatraz, I got a lot of questions about that, so I actually made a trip down there. I spent the entire day down there. So I don't think this judge went down there and toured the facility because I think the decision is bad. I mean, I walked through the detention part where the aliens are housed, clean, well kept. And I went to the medical facility and talked to the medical staff and seen the great medical program they had there. It had no serious medical issues, but if they actually had a helicopter there to take them to the nearest trauma center. But they had a great medical facility there that I went to and talked to the physicians and the nurses. I went to the cafeteria and looked at the food they were feeding these people. And as far as environmental concerns, I mean, I was briefed that all the waste, all the non-potable water, all of that is taken off the facility every day. And as far as the facility itself, it's sitting on existing concrete that was already there in the airport. So I don't understand the judge's ruling. I think it's a radical decision. I think it's really about anti-immigration enforcement rather than the conditions of the facility. I was there. Look, it's a transition facility. It's not a long-term facility. Now, because of that, I truly believe we need more brick and mortar. We have the money now to do it. We need to build an infrastructure that's going to last. We need more brick and mortar facilities for longer-term detention. But these transitional facilities, I thank God the governors are stepping up. I'm proud of the governor stepping up and helping ICE to detain people, remove people, because this illegal immigration, the last 4 years, this historical immigration has affected the states too. So I'm happy that the governors are stepping up. As far as the names, I just don't want these names to detract from the hard work ICE is doing. ICE agents, they're doing a difficult, dangerous job, a serious job. They're doing it with integrity and dignity and honor. I just don't want, the names to detract from the serious work they're doing.
And I want to ask you about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's back in the headlines this week after he was released from custody in Tennessee. Obviously, things have gotten so muddy with so many different lawsuits and so many different court rulings. He's apparently planning to apply for asylum here in the U.S. now, saying he fears being deported to Uganda. Tom, is there any world that exists where this doesn't end with him being deported from the U.S.?
Look, Bill, the building behind me sits the greatest president of my lifetime, Donald Trump. He promised we'll make this country safe again. Kilmar Abrego will be deported. Him and his attorneys are putting off the inevitable. But if the judge rules on the statute, if the judge rules on the law, he's going to go home because now he wants to claim asylum, which means he's escaping fear and persecution from your home government because of race, religion, and political affiliation. He's not going to his home government, right? We know that. So he's going to have to prove that he has some sort of political asylum in like Uganda or Costa Rica or any other country, which he simply can't. He has no case. And plus, it's beyond a year where he can claim asylum anyways. So if the court rules on the basis of federal law, he's going home. And I got my teeth into this. I'm not letting go. He is going to be deported. He's a danger to the community. He's a terrible person. He doesn't deserve to walk the streets of this great nation. He's a gang member, terrorist, wife beater, pedophile, human trafficker, alien smuggler. He needs to go home.
And DHS just announced that since operations began in LA in June, ICE and Border Patrol have arrested about 5,000 illegal aliens in the LA area. And they put out a list of some of the worst that they picked up there in the sanctuary city of LA. Take a look at this list here, Tom. Some really bad apples with some pretty horrible convictions. We're talking multiple murderers, multiple pedophiles, multiple rapists. And Karen Bass has repeatedly demanded that you end these ICE operations out there. And now California Governor Gavin Newsom is sounding off, saying ICE is the biggest police force in the world, private police force. And he says you guys are going to be going to voting booths. Take a listen to this. We'll get your thoughts on the other side.
You have the largest private police force in the world. When they're done with this, all that funding, that big, beautiful portrayal, allows more resources for this private police force that increasingly is showing a tendency not to swear an oath to the Constitution, but to the President of the United States. And he'll be sending them to voting booths and polling places all across this country.
Tom, final word to you. Want to respond to Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass?
It's disgusting. He's an embarrassment to the position he holds. If he had an ounce of integrity, if Karen Bass had an ounce of integrity, they would be thanking President Trump for making California safe again. You just listed all the bad people we've taken off the streets. We're going to be there today. We're going to be there tomorrow. We're not going anywhere. President Trump made a promise to the American people that we're going to make this country safe again. And that includes LA. That includes California. We are, I looked at the numbers this morning, Bill. ICE has made just, under 200,000 arrests. There's about 350,000 deportations together with Border Patrol and ICE. This is unprecedented considering the first 4 months of this fiscal year was under Joe Biden where he wasn't doing anything. Governor Newsom just sit back and watch us make his state safe again because they've done nothing. We'll do it for them.
All right, Tom Homan, live at the White House this morning. Tom, thanks for your time. Always good to see you.
Good to see you, Bill.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.